Welcome to DIYEasyCrafts.com, how to make an American flag cornhole bags yard game. Now these cornhole games can be made with a variety of different designs. This particular design is painted on, so you could actually do the exact same design, or you could change it around and put any design that you like on your cornhole game. It's a very easy project. For this one, we actually even found red, white, and blue cornhole bean bags. So this project starts with two pieces of 2 foot by 4 foot 3/4 inch plywood, and also 3 2x3s. Now a lot of people use 2x4s, and that's fine. If you want to use 2x4s, just get 3 2x4s 8 feet long. You're going to cut the 2x4s into exactly 4 foot lengths. You're also going to cut shorter lengths that are going to fit in between those 2x4s to create a frame. Basically what you want to end up with is a frame with the outside measurements being exactly 2 foot by 4 feet. And then we're going to attach that frame to the plywood. Now, a lot of people will just screw the plywood right through the top of the plywood into the 2x4s or 2x3s. I decided to use pocket holes. I have this very inexpensive pocket hole jig, which I got at Home Depot. And you basically just clamp that on, and it comes with a drill. You drill out the holes, and this way all of the screws are going to come from below, and you're not going to have to fill in any holes with wood putty. Because I'm using the pocket jig, I'm also going to attach the 2x3s together with the same pocket holes and pocket screws. So I put 2 holes on either side of the cross members, and I'm just going to screw them together, holding the corners basically so that they're nice and square and even. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way around this frame and screw together each one of the corners so that I end up with a rectangular frame, in this case made out of the 2x3. So that's what we have here, and now I've moved the jig vertical, and I'm going to move it up and down or all around the perimeter of these 2x3s, clamping it into position approximately every 8 or 10 inches, drilling the hole. Those holes can be set to any depth, and what I've done is I've just set that so that my 1-inch screws won't go through the plywood. So this does the pre-drilled pocket holes, and I'll do that all the way around the whole perimeter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of wood glue and put that on one side of that 2x3 frame, and then move the frame and put it into position. And then I'm just going to go around with those smaller pocket screws and screw everything down. It's a very, very simple project. Doing it this way, the benefit, like I said before, is you have no screw holes coming through the surface of your cornhole board. And of course you have to make 2 of these. These boards are 2 feet by 4 feet in length. And we're also going to make legs for them, but I'm going to do that a little bit later. I'm going to move on to the hole. Now the hole has to be 12 inches from each side and 9 inches down from the top. I just used a ruler. You can cut this hole in a couple of different ways. The most common way is probably just with a jigsaw. You drill a smaller hole, draw a circle with a compass, a 6-inch diameter circle, and then cut it out as best you can with a jigsaw. Kind of a better way of doing it is if you have one of these 6-inch hole saws. These are fairly expensive, about $40 or so at Home Depot. I did find them online in the $20 range. So if you're going to make more than one set of these, you might want to invest in a 6-inch diameter hole saw. Once the hole is set up, is drilled, I flipped the board over, and I'm going to work on the legs. And the legs are going to fold. They're basically going to be hinged on a 3/8 diameter bolt. And all I'm doing is I'm measuring in from the end of the 2x3, 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to clamp a smaller section of 2x3 into position. I cut these a little bit long. I cut them like 14 or 16 inches. I left about 1.25 inch gap, and then I drilled a hole, and that hole again is 3.5 inches from the end and about 1.25 inches down. And then I drive my bolt through, 3/8 bolt, and that ends up with 2 folding legs. They're going to rest on that forward 2x3. I'm going to add a cross member just so that it's both legs fold up uniformly. And there's nothing fancy here. I just cut a little notch out of each side with a jigsaw and a couple pre-drilled the holes and a couple of short screws. Now we still have to trim off these legs. The finished product has to be on the top end exactly 12 inches up. And I'll show you how we measure and cut those off in a minute. I kind of went ahead and started on the painting before I finished the legs. I'm going to give the whole board one coat of white. And I'm just using a latex white, exterior latex white paint. I let that dry completely, and then I measured 2-inch down from the top. And I made little pencil marks on both sides and in the middle, the exact same distance, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, all the way down. And then I'm using 2-inch painter's tape. You have to start with painter's tape on the very top stripe. The very top stripe is going to be white. The length and width of the blue background where the stars go is kind of predetermined by the placement of the stripes. In my case, or in the case of these cornhole boards, I ended up with a blue background area that's 12 inches by 18 inches. And I'm just using painter's tape. Now, using painter's tape on plywood, there's a real tendency of the paint bleeding underneath that tape. I did a whole separate video that shows you a very, very easy way of avoiding that and getting nice, clean, crisp paint lines. And I'll put a link of that video up on this video. The stars that I used, I cut out on my Cameo Silhouette vinyl cutter. If you don't have a vinyl cutter, you can cut these things out by hand, or you can go on Amazon and search for star stickers. The ones that I made are about 2 inches in diameter. They're not exact. I'm certainly not going to get the accurate number of stars in this area. It's just a representation of the American flag. The next step is going to be to paint over all of those stars with a royal blue paint. Again, I used an exterior latex. I used the same technique as far as getting nice, clean, crisp lines using the vinyl stickers as I did on the painter's tape. And like I said, I highly recommend you watch that other video. I peel the stickers as well as the tape after about 10 minutes. You want the paint to still be a little sticky. You don't want it to be completely dry. I just find that the tape peels a little bit easier and gives you a better, crisper line when you do it that way. The next step is going to be to paint the red stripes. Again, I'm just using a red exterior latex paint. You can do this with a roller. I'm just doing it with a brush. It's just what I had. And once all of the red lines are painted, again, give it depending on how hot the day is and how much sun there is, about 10 minutes or so. Paint will still be sticky, and just carefully peel all of the paint tape, or all of the painter's tape. And you should end up with some nice, clean, crisp lines. And now very quickly, this cornhole set is coming together. Very patriotic design with the American flag. It's kind of perfect for 4th of July or Memorial Day gatherings. The final step is going to be to cut the legs to length. You have to end up with the height at the top of the board being exactly 1 foot. I just use a little bit of a angled wood wedge or shim. I move it in and out until I get the exact same height on both sides, 12 inches. And I've got both legs hanging over the end of a table. And then all I do is put a straight edge on that table and draw a line along the bottom of that straight edge, or this, the line is basically equivalent to the table. That angle will be cut just with a circular saw. And I do the same on both sides, and then you end up with a cornhole set that is the exact legal dimensions, 2 foot by 4 foot, and the exact height, which is 12 inches. These are great for barbecues and for backyard use. The legs fold for easy storage, and with the 3/4 plywood, they're really built to last forever. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. By all means, check us out on the web at DIYeasycrafts.com. Check out our other how-to videos. Thank you very much.